As you guys can see, the CBR1000RR looks a whole lot different than last time it was on camera. So let's get into it. Let me show you what I've done while you guys were not watching. Let's start from the tail section over here. As you guys can see, looks a whole lot fuller than last time. Is because I put the rear frame back, which was pretty straightforward. It's 4 bolts. Obviously, I removed it, cleaned it, make sure it was straight and back on the bike as it shows. Another thing I did is the plastic tray inside, where getting the harness to fit the way those workers at the Honda factory did in the first place, it was kind of hard. It was a tight fit. There is a lot going on in there, and every little wire, harness, and little hose has a specific position. I had to go back and rewatch the footage of when I pulled it off because I couldn't remember where everything went. But nonetheless, it's done. I also added the plastic, how you call it, tray, undertail, or whatever you want to call it, this thing back here. This one was really easy. It's 4 bolts, so it didn't take that much. But since I was at it, remember I complained about the license plate holder that was fully straight up, so it's a guaranteed pullover if you have a cop behind you. Well, I replaced it, not with an expensive brand, but less cheap than the previous one. The previous one was really thin, really thinny, like very simple to move and not strong at all. This one, it seems to be 1/8 of an inch aluminum. It comes with the light, which I wired in, and it looks a whole lot better. It's at the better angle to give the cops one less reason to pull you over. Another thing you might have noticed is the rear wheel is back on it, but the rear brake is not, because I'm still waiting on parts. I started by cleaning the brake calipers, and it turns out that because the way I am, I decided to just rebuild them. So I ordered the new seals for the pistons, the brake pistons, and now I'm waiting. The tires I've chosen for this bike are the proper tires that need to be on a CBR1000RR, and those are Pirelli Diablo Rosso Corsa 2. I have it on my TUONO, and they're fantastic tires. They last long enough. They grip like it's nobody's business. So here they are on the bike. Another thing I've done to it, it's 90 degrees valve stem. Anytime on any bike that I'm gonna work on wheels and tires, those 90 degrees valve stems are gonna go in, because it's so much better, especially on the front wheel with those giant brake. It's always hard to get in there. So 90 degrees valve stem is the way to go. If you work on your own wheels and tires, I recommend putting them on. But there are a few other things in this general area. I checked and measured and made sure that the swing arm is not bent, and it's not. One thing that the previous owner did really well was chain and sprockets. New sprockets, new chain, and it's been installed properly. I checked, double check, recheck. So when I find out that it was done properly, I just cleaned it, re-lubed it, put it back on. I haven't quite measured the slack just yet because the bike needs to be on the side stand for that. But It looks great. I didn't think I would like a gold chain, which is unusual. Being Italian, I should be all about gold chains. But there it is. The thing that I'm having the most trouble, it's with the exhaust. The OEM exhausts in good conditions are outrageously expensive. Meanwhile, all the other aftermarket exhausts, those that are not outrageously expensive from reputable brands, don't have the buns for the oxygen sensor, because on the CBR the oxygen sensor is on the slip-on, or at least on the rear portion of the exhaust. And those that do are incredibly expensive. And it's like, if I keep spending money at this rate, I'm gonna blow the budget, which I'm close to it, and at that point it wouldn't be worth it. As always, I don't need to make money out of it, but I want at least to go even, since all my labor is free. Moving up to the front, we have a brand new radiator. This is not OEM, and you can tell when you install it. I had to bend a few things here and there to make it fit properly. Other than that, the radiator is solid, and all the hardware, like the fan and the hoses, fit as it's supposed to. It's just the attachment points. On the OEM radiators, they're kind of far forward. On this one, they're dead in the middle. So I had to kind of move it and force it and bend a little things here and there. And in the end, it looks pretty good. I haven't filled it up just yet, because I have a few more things to do to the engine itself before I want to fill up the radiator with fluid. Other than that, since I was in this general area, I actually removed the front brakes, the front calipers, lines, and master cylinder, because, as always, I'm going to replace the line with steel braided lines, and I'm going to clean and rebuild the calipers up front. Why? Well, because I'm at it. Might as well just do it. When I'm removing all this stuff, before I put the front stand on, I need the bike to be suspended. And the OMT lift comes really handy. Just slap it under the engine, crank it up, and now the bike, or the front of the bike, is free from weight, and I can actually work on it. Thank you, OMT, once again for sending the stand to me to try out. Big revelation. I never thought I would need it. Obviously, I do. Other few things you guys might have noticed up front is the forks looking pristine again. Triple three or triple clamp missing up here. That's because I removed it, looked at it, make sure it was good, and then send it in. I'm gonna have it powder coated to put on, because every time the triple three, people use big keychain made out of metal or wood or hard plastic, and they flap around in the wind. They ruin the triple three, and well, I'm doing it. I might as well. I'm telling you, this mentality of mine, where I look something that is not right and I want to make it right at all costs, is going to cost me a lot of money in the long run, but I want it to be done, and I did it. I also removed the clip-ons, clean all the contacts, remove the grips, because, well, new grips. Make sure that those clip-ons were not bent, make sure that they're clean, and put them back on, and they look pretty much brand new. All right, before we keep going, I need to thank Lexin. They sent me their Smart Pump P4. Previously, they sent the Smart Pump P5. The P4 has all the great characteristics of the P5, but it's smaller and lighter. So this one is definitely more solid, but this one is way lighter. So if you want to carry this on a bike that is not an 1100cc Africa Twin, where I keep this one on, and you need something lighter, more pourable, and it really is lighter and more portable. Give this Lexin P5 a chance, because the more I use mine, the more I like their products. And on that note, one of my patrons is gonna get one of those, because I asked Lexin to send 2 of them so I can give one away to one of you guys, and they said, sure, no problem. So mid-January, on one of those videos, you guys gonna see who's gonna get the Lexin P5. So if you want a chance at winning this, join the patrons. But the biggest change you guys might have noticed, it's up here. A lot of things went back onto the bike after obviously I cleaned it and made it look brand new. Starting with the throttle body. The throttle bodies were fairly simple to work on and to install and remove. The only complicated thing is, as always, because the bike is so compact, there is so very little space under there that I had trouble making all the little hoses, the air hoses and the fuel hoses and the electrical wire, fit the way they need to be fitted in there. It's almost like Tetris. Everything is interlocked and the wire go across each other, and they need to be in a specific position. Otherwise, it just doesn't fit. And then obviously, not a brand new, but a thoroughly cleaned airbox got installed back on, and a K&N filter. The only other thing I haven't done is add a battery to it. And once I add the battery to it, I can start plugging a few wires here and there and making sure that the stuff works around. I waited to put a battery on because I was waiting to shoot this video. So let me grab a new battery and let's put it on together. And my battery of choice, as always, as I have on most of my bike, is a Socal lithium battery. They're not sponsoring the channel. They should, because I really love them, and I would much rather them giving it to me than keep buying them. But as a matter of fact, I actually bought another one for the TUONO, because the time is coming when the TUONO is going to need a new battery. So, and as the box says, insane performance. So why wouldn't you buy something that says insane performance on the box? I don't know. All kidding aside, I like the fact that they're black, no frills, no crazy thing going on. It's a simple lithium battery. It doesn't break the bank, and they usually fit perfect in all the bikes that I put them on. So to give you that perfect fit, Socal actually provides add-ons to the battery. So you just put it on the bottom and that's it. The battery becomes exactly the size of the battery box down here. I usually add a little bit of foam instead of the plastic add-on, but in this case, is so spot on, like literally the battery does not move a single millimeter. So no foam, but this plastic add-on. And that is it for today. The CBR1000RR is coming to completion. Maybe 1 or 2 more episodes just to get everything, and then we're gonna test it, review it, and unfortunately sell it to get another bike. But for everything I used in this video, like the unpads, torque wrench, or the OMT lift, or whatever else, check the description down below for well, links, discounts, and whatever else I can provide for you guys. If you want to support the channel, do the usual YouTube stuff. If you really want to support the channel, become a patron and join the inner circle. Almost forgot. Thank you very much to my patrons. You guys are the best, and because of that, by mid-January, one of you is going to take home this Lexin Smart Pump. So, thanks again. Dai a tutti, and I'll see you next time.